40 years ago, many people in the United States were very concerned about apartheid in South Africa, the very repressive political system that separated black people from white people in the country. And we realized that many American companies were doing business in South Africa, and in fact, in some ways contributing to this very bad political system. And so a group of 12 faith-based investors, people who managed mutual funds, who managed pension funds, who managed funds for churches, got together and said, is there something we can do about this? And they put their ideas together and decided as shareholders to go to the annual meetings of companies that were doing business in South Africa to ask them to change these practices, to either divest or leave the country, or to tell the country that they would not do business there until this practice changed. That was the very beginning of ICCR, the first shareholder resolution, the first shareholder proposal to asking a company to change its social practices happened around apartheid in South Africa. In America, we are very results-oriented, and so we have a saying at ICCR. We are inspired by faith, but we're committed to action. So for us, real engagement actually means real results. That when you sit and you talk to a company, you are first talking with people at a level in the company who can actually make change. These are not just people who are public relations for the company. These are not just people who are being polite. These are people who are in high enough positions in management that they can actually make change. So first, engagement is about talking with people who can make change. And then second, real engagement, successful engagement, is about seeing the practices change at the company, seeing them do a little less pollution, seeing them pay attention to human rights, seeing them change their governance practices so that their company works more effectively. That's how we define real engagement. I think there are really three things. I think the first is to listen very carefully to each other. We have a lot to learn from the different styles and different cultures. And companies are no longer companies in one country. Companies all do business across borders around the globe, whether it's through their supply chains or whether it's through their markets or their consumers. Companies are all global. And so I think that for people who are in the work of making companies more just and more sustainable, we can all learn from each other. And so we need to listen very carefully, first and foremost. Second of all, we need a platform of regulations that is more uniform around the globe, so that when we engage in these practices with global companies, we have the same set of rules that we're operating by. And then third, we need to really have a push for stronger analytical tools. We need to be able to understand how to measure the kinds of social, environmental, and governance changes we seek. And if we have a common language of measurement, much like with finance, we will be able to hold each other accountable for real results. And I think with those three things, we can bridge the divide between the Anglo-Saxon way of doing business and the more Latin-oriented or European